And here we are on a late night flight into Ethiopia. As you can see, we're over the darkness of Africa with a few little diamonds sprinkled in, or little lights. And as you get closer to the big cities, you will see that obviously we get more diamonds, we get more lights. And then here in a minute, you find yourself over a very big city of Addis Ababa. And we're about to shoot the RNAV runway 07 right approach into Addis Ababa, and this will be a LNAV approach only. One of the things to note on this approach that there were several things that happened on this arrival. For one, we noticed that there was no centerline lighting at all, and it was a pretty wide runway. And here in a minute you will see, as we get close, because the runway is so wide, and with the loss of some of the side lights of the runway, you really have no depth perception. You're literally landing into a black hole with, again, something that makes depth perception pretty challenging. So here we go, and we finally broke off the approach, and we start looking at the approach lights, and now we will follow the approach lights in as our primary glide slope. Coming down the final approach course here, and you can see there is just nothing. It's just the side lights on this very wide runway, no centerline lighting, and then the lights just disappear because they just don't have them. And look at this dark hole that you land in. Very, very little depth perception here. On a narrower runway, it wouldn't be that bad, but this is Africa. You get what you get. So on the rollout here, we also noticed that there was no lead-off lights for such a big and busy airport. And with some missing taxiway lights again, you had to look very, very close of where you were going. Now things get really confusing. We get a taxi clearance to taxi to stand Golf 1 via hotel, but that's the only clearance we get. There's nothing, we were not told, hey, back taxi on runway 07 left. We just get taxi to stand Golf 1 via hotel. So here I'm looking at the runway as we're taxiing off. I'm coming off the taxiway, and of course immediately onto another runway. And for a moment I give pause, as you'll see here in the next few seconds. Right now we're kind of contemplating what did they tell us, and we asked for the clearance twice, but we get the exact same clearance. So at no point do we get, hey, back taxi runway 7 left. All we get is taxi to Golf 1 via hotel. So here I am, I make the turn, and everything looks good till I see a big white center line, and I'm asked my co-pilot, are we on a taxiway or a runway? And of course he replies, we're on a runway. And I'm like, yeah, this is not good. So I see a taxiway off to my right, unmarked, and we turn down this taxiway because I'm not taxiing on a runway that I have no clearance for. There was no designation for it, but it's on the map, and it was between Juliet and Kilo. So I just decided that, well, I can, from that position, I can get to stand Golf 1 safely without being on a runway. And of course, querying ground about it, just no reply whatsoever. So we come around, and we're on this apron, now taxiing to stand Golf 1. And as you can see, there's another aircraft landing on 7 right. And there was a big Airbus that landed right behind us. And you'll see here in a moment on the top left side, this Airbus is actually back taxiing on runway 7 right. Oh, so sorry, 7 left. Of course, we never got that clearance, and so we assumed that this was just tribal knowledge. Which, of course, as you well know in aviation, not a good way to communicate. It creates a lot of confusion.
Yeah, I was kind of fucked up. I didn't understand that we were on another runway right there.
Well, we didn't get proper taxi instructions.
So a very interesting night to say the least, with quite a bit of confusion and interpretation. Not the way I like things done at all. But sometimes that is just par for the course. So here we are,
Golf 3, Golf 2, Golf
found stand Golf 1.
Alright, and I see
And it's about time to offload our patient.
Alright, APU is on. I'll go ahead and turn the bleeds on.
And we know we're in the right spot because there was a marshal. Which is always a sigh of relief.
Don't care.
Here I am. There was a confusion. They couldn't open a PDF, so I am on my way to the flight plan office, which is at the base of the tower, to go file an international flight plan manually by hand. And during all this, I'm having a conversation with our handler.
Are you from here?
I'm from here. Like, I'm from Ethiopia, I meant. And my hometown is Bahir Dar. It's just 45 minutes flight from here.
Yeah.
So, you know, Ethiopia is the best country you can find anywhere, you know.
All right. So here's a fun fact for you.
All right, go ahead.
I was born in Africa,
Okay.
South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
All right.
And then moved to the U.S. many years ago.
Your family,
No, just me.
just by yourself?
Yes.
Like how many years back?
1993.
1993.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the reason you moving there? Economic reasons?
It's my
job?
career. Just for.
And so here we are, finally at the base of the tower. Interesting conversation, to say the least.
You have a family?
And
Yes, I do.
How many kids?
off to go file a international
Very
flight
good.
plan by hand. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Hope you found this interesting.